Sylvia Mint. The fun word guessing game is back and you can come aboard and play. It's simple. Just email us your name and contact information and you are in there, baby. Yeah.
Hey. Thank you for joining us on another Wednesday. Happy Hump Day. It is Smooth Tim and Larry E. How you guys doing out there? What's up, Larry?
Chilling. You good?
I am good. On this Hump Day. See me, I'm getting confused. I'll get all my days of the week confused and shit, but I'll be okay. Tuesday, Thursday, happy something. Hey, I'm happy that I woke up this morning. How about you?
Yeah, I'm happy I woke up and my allergies is not winning this week.
Yeah, I see they had, what was I watching on one of the morning news stations, and they're showing the allergy alerts, and I see actually that for one time, it's a little bit north of Texas.
Thank God, because they were killing me last week.
It must have been something about the winds coming up out of Mexico must have blown some of that a little bit to the north of you, but yeah, I was like, well.
You're losing this hump day, I'll tell you that.
Because I told you what, man, yeah, my allergies were off the hook down in Texas. It was crazy. It's all that pollen count is crazy down there. Anyhow, man, let's see what the hell we can get people riled up about by talking about tonight. Here comes home comes with a squatter. I seen this on the news, man, and I was just like, you got to be kidding me. But let's catch this video about this home in Virginia, and then we'll come back.
With 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, and more than 3,500 square feet, in this neighborhood, an $805,000 selling price might sound like a steal. But when you consider the home's most unique feature, to some, it sounds more like someone is getting scammed. The home Zillow listing went wild last week with this description, with acknowledgement that home will convey with a person living in the lower level with no lease in place. The home has already sold. The agent handling the sale declined to comment. Previously, she told the New York Post the seller is a 79-year-old man who is ill and in the hospital, and the woman living in the lower level is taking advantage of him, the paper reported. The agent said the woman was cleaning the man's house 3 years ago when she convinced him to let her move in and never left and never paid rent. Neighbors are curious, but they're also quiet when it comes to talking about the circumstances around this house. They did tell me that when the woman moved in, things changed around here, that for the first time in a long time, the grass was cut and the yard was cleaned up. Despite signs that someone was home Tuesday, no one answered the phone or the door, leaving a lot of questions unanswered about this mysterious, if not sad, house for sale. In Fairfax, Virginia, Casey Nolan, WUSA 9.
What do you think about that?
I ain't paying shit.
You got to buy a house and then you got a squatter in the basement. And I mean, that can be real technically tough.
Legally, yeah.
Legally, it can be tough. Because, I mean, you need to determine, I was poking around a little bit about squatters. And a lot of your states have, the person has to, maintain that property from anywhere from, 10 to 20 years. This is like most states. I mean, maintain and care for that property. And there's another little part of it that says, and the original landowner can't be around. And sometimes they do this, even the clause can be once a year. And I think that's why they do open areas in New York. You'll see them close off a little open area in New York so that the actual owner can maintain control of that property. So people don't actually squat on the property. It's craziness.
It was a movie I watched when it's no matter of fact it was a documentary. This guy was just moving in with people and squatting on him and not paying his rent. It was crazy. I've seen it happen so many times, and it's you got legally you got to like go through all these steps just to get him out. And then the crazy part, they said that the old man was in the hospital, so he has to be the one to put her out,
Right.
even
And
though
now,
the house has been sold.
now think about how you could roll into the clause to where I'm actually maintaining the property because that homeowner's been in the hospital or been in a care facility for X, Y, Z.
Right. See, that's some stuff that the legislator should change things like that. Something that simple that's going to really just
I could see it.
prevent
Yeah, I
people
could
from
see a
taking advantage
family
of other people.
losing some valuable property just because of some, knucklehead.
Yeah, I heard of people having to sell their home because of that.
Obviously, this happened in Virginia for $480,000.
Like, you ain't get out, I'm selling it. And they still stayed. I bet they won't try no South Dallas or no West Dallas or anything, South Oak Cliff. You pull up in somebody's house you don't bought, they out. They
But
got to get out. Them people over there
traditionally, it
don't play that
takes
run
what,
you out.
like 90 days, 120 days, something like that, to
Yeah,
even if you're trying to
legally,
evict somebody.
yeah, it's a lot. It's like you got to take them to court. You got to file the paperwork, serve them, then take them to court. Because just think about it. You already want them out. Then you got to sit there with these fools another 180, 90 days. Come on.
And
You
how many?
legally can't do anything.
You're 100%. I mean, have you seen people that's sitting on property where they even have to have the cops come in and actually physically take them off of the property that they're, either, evicted from or squatting on?
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm like, they don't want you there, just move on. But some people just psychologically, they just don't want to bulge and they just take advantage of the situation. I'm like, and that's it's movies about that stuff like that, and people's actually gotten hurt because of people squatting or whatever. Lost property, money, time and energy. Is just ridiculous for somebody being lazy and don't want to leave when it's time to go. Damn it, it's time to go.
You know who had the shortest span in actually caring for a property before you can actually say it's legally yours? Is the only one state was the least was Montana at 5 years. So if you maintain a property in Montana, which I can understand because there's a lot of wilderness, you know what I mean. So yeah, it can just become legally your property.
It's like being married in some states where if you with somebody for 5 years, you legally married.
You might want to watch how much you're trying to acquire. I mean, back taxes might be a bitch. You know what I mean?
Yeah, see, what are the rules on taxes? I'm like, okay, since you squatted on my property, I had to pay. Who's paying the taxes?
Yeah, I had to bring that up, didn't I? Because you can have a lien on a property because of back taxes, right? So now if you squat on that property, and wait, if you squat on that property, now you should also inherit the debt. And then it's all of a sudden now, back taxes. Now it becomes state-owned, bank-owned. It's ours. Bye.
Yeah, I bet they'll leave then. You pay these taxes. No, I'll go somewhere else.
We found a loophole. We'll write the government, tell them we got this shit figured out, man.
Or we can start a company evicting squatters.
That's what we'll do. Just on the legal loophole, you owe back taxes. There's a lien on this property. You owe us money.
And we'll name it like you squat. We stop. I don't know.
That's like,
you squat. We like I'm the hammer. Some stuff like that, like right there. We hammer squatters. We get them out your house quick.
I'd like to be more like along the Dog the Bounty Hunter style kind of shit.
Yeah, right.
Dog the Squatter Hunter or some shit.
Yeah, run around the country evicting squatters our way. I'll be telling jokes and shit like that. Then we'll call the cut out. Then something. Then I'll be something. I don't know. I wrestle with them because I'll get in shape. I don't know. We'll figure something out.
It's a whole new documentary. We're gonna work on it. Anyhow, man, universal PreK, and it is starting to happen. You know, I don't know what your opinion on it is one way or the other, or the viewer's opinion on it one way and or the other. But, it's happening, and maybe it's not such a bad idea. Let's check it out.
Right now, we're taking a live look as Governor Polis is about to sign a bill into law that will make universal PreK a reality for Coloradans by next year. It's another way the state is trying to help people make ends meet. The program is expected to save Colorado families more than $4,000 a year. It offers 10 hours of free preschool education per week. That newly created Department of Early Childhood will roll out that program by fall of 2023.
Bam, what do you think?
Yeah, man, that's smart. You know, we got to get these kids smart. You got to get them when they're young. Start them young and bring them up, and they already get a good start. And that's the best part. You know, like a child mind develops a lot. It's a development as they get older, become adults to their 25. But still,
They're a huge sponge.
Make,
They're a huge sponge at that developmental age. You're right.
Yeah, you want to give them the foundation, and pre-K is great when it comes to help them develop social tactics. When it comes, socially, mentally, and how can I say, educationally, is good for kids, and it shouldn't cost much for pre-K anyway. You know, you develop more jobs for people, and it just does a lot of great things for everybody across the board. So that's a good thing.
You know, you have a good point. They mentioned the one point to where they think it saves Coloradoans $4,000 per family just in child services
per year. Yeah,
and the way the bill that's going through Congress is for like $450 billion. So if you think about it, there's going to be a lot of savings, and that's going to stimulate the economy. I can't see how people can be against it when you think, now I'm going to be able to fund a individual to be able to take their child to pre-K. They're going to be able to work. Now this child, I'm already putting, developmentally, I'm putting them ahead of the curve where they would be if he was just sitting at home in front of the boob tube.
Right.
So, I mean, it seems to me that in so many different ways, it's win-win.
Yeah, I'm like, every state should do it. It just makes sense. And if you think about it, this is America, and we have to compete against all the other countries. So that's a good, competition move when it comes to us competing with other countries, when it comes to education and stuff like that. You got to get them, because it's a lot. You got to get them when they're young, and that's the best time to start is pre-K.
Well, don't they? China, I hate to do that. My Trump impression. China.
Well,
seriously, look how far ahead of the curve they are. But they're aren't they year-round school? And they focus
and you know what they do that's smart too? They take kids. And I learned this a long time ago. In some countries, if you're a knucklehead, they don't waste time on you. If you're smart, they put you with the smart kids, athletic kids with the athletic kids, the idiots with the idiots, and they don't give everybody the opportunity. They're like in America, you know how they just put all the kids in class and their kids destructive or causing problems. They stuck in the class. So other ones that really want to learn, they don't do that in other places. And it's working for them. I know they don't do that in China. If you whatever your skill is, if you're industrial, you go to industrial side. If you're smart side. If you technology, whatever it is, athletic, you focus on that when they're young, and that's how they go.
Well, they do have the ability to send some kids into advanced academics if they're ahead of their class. If you're, I guess the precess to that would be that, if you've got a university that does that kind of thing around you.
Yeah, and they don't wait. America, we're totally different. We claim to be this democratic country, but it's
education in my book is lacking in a lot of regards.
Oh, it's lacking. You can look at the teachers' salaries. You look at how much money they're investing in the infrastructure of schools, and I'm talking about just schools, period. Not just certain schools. I'm talking about in schools, period. There's a big deficit of what schools get what monies and what schools don't get what money. So,
well, we discussed this when we were. Did we not discuss this, Larry?
Yeah.
A couple of episodes again when we was talking about the people taking, my God, the census.
Yeah.
And we said how important it is for your infrastructure in your neighborhood, besides your city and your state, more importantly, your neighborhood, that they know you have these children, that they know this is your income, that's how things happen. I mean, yeah. And then you wonder why, I have a shit school. I wonder why I don't have any, groceries. That, like I said, we were in that discussion before.
Yeah, but you know what kills me with the census? We get back on the schools too, though. I've seen neighborhoods that were project out ghetto, and then they come in and wipe out all that crap, and then they come in and gentrify. They just come in and bring in all new artistic places and brand new buildings and stuff like that, and they jack the rent up high. I'm like, is that the whole purpose of the census? One of the census was accurately counted there, and they still did that. So then you think like it doesn't really matter.
Yeah,
and you can look at the neighborhood. If you look at the neighborhood and know you don't have good schools, you know you need to invest money into those schools. Period.
but there's a lot of times they do that to lower economic neighborhoods. They'll just, come in, buy it up, and renew it some way, rebrand the entire neighborhood, or just build a freeway over top of it, right?
Yeah, right. Knock it all down by everybody else out. But I'm like, if you're gonna do that, you should have did that in the first place without bringing in all this other thing. You should just say, hey, this neighborhood is struggling. Let's build it up. But that's just how it is. You know what I'm saying? That's how.
But we got completely off a universal pre-K.
Yeah, I know, right. And let's go back to the pre-K, universal pre-K. Even those schools should be in. This I'm afraid of, Tim. They're say it does become universal. You know what's going to happen. Some neighborhoods, some areas, they're not going to have
access,
adequate pre-K, universal pre-K, or they might not have it at all because of the census or because whatever crap happens.
Oh yeah, access to it or fundamentally it could be transportation to that pre-K.
So it's exactly. So that's a big problem. So if you're going to
when you're talking like inner city, we're talking inner city issues, correct?
Yeah, because usually if you have you can say if it's rural too. It depends on.
It could be rural, yes. It could be.
Yeah, because I think you have more issues getting there if you're further out compared to if it's already inner city.
Oh, you told us about that a long time. You country, right? You was born away country.
I'm country.
You had to walk uphill both ways. I remember your story.
It flooded and had to swim through the flood. That's like swim now. So had to be in shape before I'm from. You survive.
Anyhow, man, I'll tell you what. You know what? We know that they've been talking on the news, going on to the next subject a little about Federal Reserve is going to, bump up interest rates. On mortgages and on your credit cards and everything else. And I was interested in, how does the Federal Reserve work, and what's going on with that. So, anyhow, I got a little video to try to get a little bit explanation on what's going on, and then we'll talk.
How much currency that has been sort of created out of thin air has been added into this economy through the Fed? What would you put as a figure? Would it be 6 trillion? Is that too much?
It would be, 6 trillion in terms of deposits with the banks and currency, be 6 to 7 trillion.
Okay. That they're just injecting into it sort of out of nothing.
Out of nothing. They're the central bank of the United States. Now, think about it. The central bank of the United States is the only institution on earth that can create dollars and pay for assets out of nothing.
It's alchemy. They're Rumpelstiltskin.
Well, in that sense, yes. And they've been given that authority by the Congress of the United States for purposes of dealing with crises.
Do you know what I mean? It all seems sort of fake.
Well, it's a fiduciary system. It's all faith-based, right?
Oh, my Lord.
Yes, you got to have confidence in that currency, in that dollar, because there's nothing backing. There's no gold backing it.
So it's in some ways, it's a mass delusion.
Well, that's a harsh word, but so long as you have faith, yeah. Well, you might see it today,
right?
In terms of with all this printing, you see these cryptocurrencies, these bitcoins,
right,
which are basically virtual currencies
and faith-based to some extent.
Faith-based.
Wait.
Hey, when you got that bill and you got that fake money, I'd rather have some real money to pay for a real bill.
Well, that was tripping me out. I'm like, no, wait a minute. So to get the economy back on their feet, which is what they did, right? They did this So they just made up like $6 to $7 trillion of this virtual money that really doesn't exist, but we got to have faith that it does exist. That's just wild.
Woo,
that is just
yeah.
wild. I mean, and
As
but
they show you
and
the
how
power
do
of
you
the
adjust interest rates on money that's just like not there?
That's taxes. They say, you know what, we're gonna charge them taxes. We ain't charge them taxes now, but down the line we're gonna charge them more taxes somehow, some way. So let's go ahead and create this 69 trillion or 7 trillion, saying that we're gonna get it from that money that we're gonna get. It's kind of like, how can I say, you know, like have sometimes you so you worked all week, you know, you get paid Friday.
Right.
Okay, you know you get paid Friday, but you already made plans for your money before you get the check. Because you know the money is coming Friday. You know, you check your hours, you know you got X amount of dollars. So I get paid Friday. So Saturday and Sunday, or so and so, I'm going to pay for these things right now and plan these things out because I know my check is going to hit Friday. They're saying, we know we're going to get the money from these people somehow, some way down the line. So since we know, let's go ahead and say we already got it right now. And then tell everybody that we already got 67 trillion in the Bank of the United States. And then we're going to hope that they believe we have it, and we're going to hope that it's there.
Maybe that's why they call it faith-based, because they have faith that money's going to keep coming in. And that what the
it's coming from somewhere. So they basically saying we finna get money from Americans from somewhere or somehow, and we know it's going to be $6 to $7 trillion. But we don't have it. But we're going to say we got it.
Have faith.
Just like you say, I'm gonna get my check. It's coming Friday, so I'm making these plans already.
And it's gonna be deposited into the bank, and they're gonna have access to it, and they're gonna make their little contributions into the Fed to help, offset this virtual money that they've got out there somewhere.
Yeah, but what do you do with virtual money? I'm like, do they do?
I don't understand because I mean, you know, we've had conversation about these Bitcoins and these other things out there, and I am just hesitant because I don't understand, how there's money floating around there in the electronic world that really doesn't exist. I mean, now I guess, I got $5, $20 bills in my pocket is based upon the same shit, right? I mean, I don't know.
I'm just saying, if I don't see the money in my account or in my hand, I don't have it. I'm like, that's just pretty much it. It's just like going somewhere empty-handed. Going to the store empty-handed, select a bunch of groceries, but you got faith that the money's going to be in your pocket when you get ready to pay for it, but you never put it in there in the first place. I'm like, I ain't never heard of faith-based money. A faith-based check, a faith-based race. I'm like,
well,
I don't know. What else is going to be faith-based now?
You can always say, what if you say this? If you could go to the loan officer, how about if I don't have faith? Do I get a lower interest rate? Do I get a lower interest rate on my money?
Oh, better yet, you go to the loan and say, listen, I got faith that if you give me the loan, I'm going to be successful.
Yeah.
Okay, give me the loan, give me the lowest interest rate you got. I got faith that I will be successful.
With my faith-based money that you're going to lend me.
Don't check my credit.
On faith.
Don't worry about nothing else. Just use my faith base. My faith saying that I'm going to make it work. Come on, man.
And I wondered, and then that man also made the remark, and and he used to be with the Federal Reserve, is why he was talking to him. So John Stewart was talking to him, and we're the only country that does that. I'm like, that seems a little odd too. So I mean, how are these other?
We are. That's why we're in debt, because we got all this fake money running around. I'm like, if you ain't got it, you ain't got it. Even then, I'm like, you got the war going on. I'm like, maybe they think they're gonna get some money from Ukraine or something like that. Maybe they
now. Okay, Tim, now wait. So the money, So the money that we're sending, the billions that we're sending to Ukraine, is that like faith-based money that really doesn't exist that they get to spend?
Faith-based return money. It's faith-based return. Your return on profit. ROP, return on profit. We're gonna send them these millions.
We don't get return on investment. We get ROP.
No, RO. When I say ROP,
yeah,
ROI, return on
investment. ROI, yeah. What's your ROI?
Yeah, ROI. That's a return. But people think for return on profit.
Yeah.
Yeah, ROI. So basically, they just took some out of the faith-based trillions, sent some billions down there. So from the billions, they got faith that whatever happens down there is gonna get us money back. So that's where some of those trillions coming from. ROI.
You know, hey, well, I understand now. You see these commercials on TV where these people are talking about buying gold and platinum, and because I physically have it in my hand.
Yeah, but what are you gonna really do with it though?
It's still worth it because it's still worth money. I mean, the gold market is not going to fluctuate. I mean, if you think about it, the central banks
lose money.
The central banks were created basically, I believe, because of the Wall Street crash. And that's when J.P. Morgan and all these other guys got together and, bailed all these banks out with loans and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I believe I may be right on that. You'd have to look that up.
I remember when a lot of banks got bailed out and people got mad because of that.
But that's the foundation of it all. And then it kind of got, politicized so that they can be controlling kind of with each other. The whole thing is, like we now know that it's kind of like imaginary money anyhow.
That's funny. Faith-based trillions of dollars that we have that we don't have.
$6 to $7 trillion worth of money that's just I wish I could get
in a bank.
I need a loan like that, man. I need 6 or 7 trillion worth of,
They give you like a trillion loan. I'm like, okay, I don't see the money. Well, it's a faith-based loan. So just have the money is there, you just can't see it. I'm like,
it's amazing though. I wonder if you went to the bank though, and how easy it would be for you. Let's say that you did actually have that kind of money. You had a cool 2 or 3 mil in the bank. Could you just walk up and take that mil out, or would that be a real problem because the bank really doesn't have the money?
I know. I'm gonna tell you a story. One time, I was in the class or something like that, and one of the girls worked at the bank. This older guy had a lot of money, but then again, he started messing with this younger female, and she started taking all his money. So they made the man close his account because she was taking all this. She was taking all his money out. They made him close the account out because I think he had a lot of money that was actually keeping the bank up, and they were losing money with him.
So she was siphoning out his accounts.
Yeah, she was getting them. She was ciphering. They made him close the account. They say we can't let you bank here anymore because we can't use your money like we want to.
There could be something to that. Hey man, let me do some quick shout outs as I'm looking down here at my notes to last week's listeners on our show in New Zealand, Australia, Jamaica, France, Mexico, Canada, the United States, and Germany. Thank you all for tuning in to us. We appreciate it. They can even catch up on some of our politics. Have we pissed anybody off yet? I don't see any real negative comments, so we're doing okay.
We're working on it. You might come.
We'll get somebody pissed off. Come on, man. Anyhow, hey, let's get on to the next one. Now, this really blew my mind. Now, this is a law enforcement officer, not just an officer, actually, the sheriff, and out of Florida. But I want to listen to you. I want you to really listen to the commentary on Fox News, and then let's talk.
If a jerk invades your castle, can you shoot him without a hassle? If the sheriff gets his wishes, home invaders will sleep with the fishes. We're talking about Sheriff Bob Johnson. Great name. Santa Rosa County, Florida. Well, I sound like the guy from Cops. Santa Rosa, Florida. Man stopped. He recently announced how a brave homeowner shot a burglary suspect but was afraid to come forward because they thought they might get in trouble. Where do you think he was, California? In the Golden State, you have to give burglars an avocado wrap and a roll of Charmin for when they poop on your doorstep. I know that for a fact. But on the contrary, in the sun's out, guns out state, this sheriff prefers you shoot at intruders. In fact, you're more than welcome to stand your ground while you squeeze off a few rounds.
If somebody's breaking in your house, you're more than welcome to shoot them in Santa Rosa County. We prefer that you do, actually.
Wow, that's one way to reduce crime scene paperwork. And Floridians can spend the tax savings on lower back tattoos. But doesn't that sound reckless? If only there were a gun safety class they offered every other Saturday that could make you shoot a lot better and hopefully save the taxpayers money.
We have a gun safety class we put on every other Saturday, and if you take that, you'll shoot a lot better, and hopefully you'll save the taxpayers money.
Wow! A class that supports the Second Amendment but doesn't teach toddlers to do lap dances. No wonder liberals hate Florida.
I don't know, man. I'm like, what can you say? I'm like, you really? It's a lot of people I want to shoot that ain't broken to my house. I'm just saying because they assholes, you know. But some family members that piss me off. But
number one, you know, this Sheriff Bob Johnson.
Bob Johnson. Sound like
I mean,
off the
come on, man.
Wild West.
You don't perpetuate an issue to where, you know, you're going to have people, and we've talked about this before, vigilantes. No, that's not your freaking job as Joe Public, and it just causes obviously nothing but problem and a lot of different tensions on all sides, right?
Right.
So, I mean, you know, but what really bothered me is the way this news reporter glorified it. Like, you know, this guy's like a hero, and yeah, that's what we should do. Anybody that comes breaking into my house, step in the door, shoot them dead. And we had this discussion just before it stopped. I said, so what happens if the role is reversed in a no-knock warrant? The cops come busting in, they're using a battering ram, they come flying in, and you shoot and waste the cop. What happens? I'm standing my ground, aren't I?
Oh, they'll change it because it's not what good's for the goose is good for the gander. You know, it's different. It's different when you got the uniform on. I think at the end of the day, there shouldn't be no knock warrants. They shouldn't be valid. I'm like, if it's a warrant, it's a warrant. It shouldn't be no knock. Now, if you know for a fact that you have a suspect that is very violent, that has committed violence against anyone recently, or that's on the run, escape from prison, you know for a fact that person's violent, you got to have some kind of element of surprise. But like I said, like you say, Tim, that's not going to fly with a no-knock warrant. If someone runs in there and then like a homeowner kills them, it's going to be a problem.
It's going to be an issue.
Problem.
But if you think about the origin of no-knock, and the origin of no-knock came from people, you know, disposing of evidence prior to the entry of the law enforcement agency, i.e. they're flushing, you know, their heroin and the other drugs down the toilet. We didn't have time to recover any evidence because now it's down the drain, so to speak.
That's why you have cops that specialize in retrieving evidence. That's why you have the court system. And that's why you have judges, defenders, and prosecutors. That's why you have that whole system set up.
I believe it is. I believe it to be archaic, and I can't think of any circumstance, you know, even as you said, even for unless it's a hostage situation. And I mean, why would you need a warrant then, where you need the actual element of surprise?
Yeah, I'm like, you know when you need the element of surprise. You know when you need to do something like that. But the guy's cocky. He's one of these. He sounds like a sheriff from the Wild Wild West, Tombstone, or something like that. It's 2022.
Florida's tripping me out, man. I mean, you know, they're
inconsistent. Everything's going wrong in Florida. They need to stick with just letting people come out there on vacation and party and get drunk. It's every week is either somebody doing something. Hopefully nobody's from Florida's watching. If y'all are, every time I listen up, it's somebody from Florida, whether it's a politician or some kind of knucklehead or whatever. They're doing something in the news that's outlandish. Something. And look at this.
Picking a fight with a freaking mouse.
He's a police officer.
He's picking a fight.
Peacekeeper.
Wait, they're picking a fight with a mouse, and you know, but over that don't say gay stuff, and now the mouse is fighting back, saying, "Wait, this is funny," because you know that you know the governor tried to sit there and say they want to lose, you know, where Disney's sovereignty or whatever the hell their negotiation was with the state of Florida when, you know, Walt got the property down there. But in any regards, what they're saying, oh yeah, well, if you're sitting there saying you want to evoke this, well, then you owe us from how many years has that been there? 30 odd years probably. Well, you owe us for all these services that we provided ourselves for some 30 odd years back.
They're on a power trip. This guy's obviously
It's
on a
going to
power
be
trip.
interesting down, and as you said, I mean, and then you got the other, idiot down there shooting intruders, and
yeah, like I'm saying, it's gonna cause problems. Not only of the homeowners hearing this, what about the offenders hearing this? So if you're a person, if you rob people and break into homes, you already know you're finna get shot. He's saying shoot you.
so maybe they should carry a gun
first.
too. Now they're gonna want to carry a gun too. Huh?
Yeah. So now you got, and I guarantee you, the burglar is gonna have, or whoever is gonna have the element of surprise. Usually they do. So who's gonna die?
A good burglar, yeah. He usually doesn't ring the doorbell first. I mean, I don't know.
Hey, because if I'm breaking into people's homes and I hear this guy and I'm from Florida, I'm saying, okay, all right, now we shooting. I'm bringing my gun too. Because if I'm gonna go in there and die, then somebody's dying with me. I'm like, he's a police officer, peacekeeper, protect and serve. He sounds like he's inciting a riot, or he's trying to add to the murders. There's already a lot of issues going. He sounds like the stuff Trump did when he had those idiots, the erection, when they ran up to the state capitol. It's another erection.
Another erection. Oh man, and you know what? That whole thing is.
And I know it's bad. I know you got to protect your property, Tim, but don't tell people that are not trained to kill. Don't tell people to go ahead and get trained to kill.
Well, that's why he offered the every other week gun safety class. He'll teach you to shoot.
He ain't gonna teach nobody nothing. He's so full of crap.
That's what
you can tell this guy's full of crap. He's just saying shit.
And to make sure you do it, make sure you don't miss. I'll train you. I'm like, what?
Hey, check it. There's nobody even backing him up. Usually, you have a press conference or something dealing with that. You got people behind you. Ain't nobody even back there with him. He's just standing by himself. Yeah, shoot him, kill him. It's gonna save tax dollars. How's it gonna save tax dollars? I don't see that.
Right, that whole thing. I was expecting Ted to come up there and put his arm around the guy and say, "You know what? Yeah."
But Trump to come in with his hair,
wave a flag,
go to the Capitol. Yeah, see the whole crew come up there. That one lady that said that crap, and the guy said, "Yeah, Americans and black people."
They
had a whole team.
Mitch McConnell.
They said Americans and black people. Like,
Americans and black people alike.
Hey, I had to look around. I'm like, wait a minute. I thought I was in the army when I stopped being American.
Hey, you're included now, man. You're included now. You heard Mitch.
Yeah, man, shoot people, man. But that's the dumbest thing I heard.
Stop your
now,
whining.
every burglar is he packing. All of them. They gonna walk in. You know what? Sit your ass down. Don't you even think about shooting me. Sit down. I'm finna steal all your shit. Sit down.
But no, I mean that's just insane. I mean, and that creates just another whole avenue of division. That's all I can say. We got enough going on. But you know what? Speaking, and you brought it up, and I want to go to this real quick, and then we'll chitty chat after this video, because one of my favorite parts of this is actually our asshole of the week, right? Now, we all know about the Capitol, what did you call it? Erection?
The erection.
The Capitol erection, right?
Everybody got hard.
And now they're going through all these emails and, people's cell phones. And I guess, they're even, saying, they were using burners so that you couldn't keep up with what the conversations was about January 6th. But in any regard, one of our favorite people that we love so much on this show, because we've actually honored her before, is Senator Marjorie Taylor Greene. And she's being now interviewed. We'll discuss why. Because of her roles in the insurrection as far as texts back and forth. Listen to this.
Anyone ever mentioned to you the possibility that there might be violence in Washington on January 6th, 2021?
I don't remember.
My question is just about whether anybody at all ever mentioned to you the possibility of violence.
I don't remember.
Okay, so you're not denying it, you're just saying you don't recall.
I don't recall.
She pled the fifth.
And she may as well, I mean, she's the same. I mean, she's the same one that said, they should be hanging Pelosi. That the election was a fraud. She's even one of the people that came up with that conspiracy that a jet never smashed into the side of the Pentagon. So she's one of these QAnon. We showed that one where she was like, shooting a rifle, blowing up a car, talking about, gun rights. I believe in gun rights. And she, I don't blowing up a Joe Biden car, whatever the hell she was doing. I'm like, this woman is like off the chain. And she's a representative of the people.
That's why I guess we do need to vote. I guess, huh? I guess we do need to vote, man, because I don't. Well, she is out of control, and I don't remember. She sounded like a little kid,
Well, when you got something to hide, that's what you do. I mean, that's the easiest thing. I mean, I don't recall.
Because she don't want to get held in contempt, because if she says no or yes, she knows it's going to come back to her somehow, some way. Because then when she does say yes or does say no, they say, well, since you said no, we have this. And she can't retract that.
Well, that's what they did to her on the one with Pelosi. Do you remember saying that Nancy Pelosi should be hung? I don't recall. Well, how about we read your text message that you sent? Blah, blah, blah. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. See, now she's getting smart. They're coaching her.
I'm like, you know what? Yeah. Yeah. But
she might be a good she might be an actual politician one day, because now they're coaching her.
I'm like, how? I would have, as a prosecutor or who's trying to uncover this, number one is, I mean, how inept can you be at remembering things and actually truly represent your people of Florida? I mean, how do you pull that off? You can't remember shit.
She represents herself. She represents her, her party.
I mean, that should be an embarrassment to the people that elected her in office if she can't remember anything.
I'm like this.
So how does she remember what you even wanted? Why? I don't remember why Larry voted me in office. What he said is concerned.
Well, the thing about it, if you keep her in office after all these things she said and did, that means that you support what she say and does. And it ain't like she has a term. I'm like, what is she anyway? Just a senator? What are the terms?
Representative, yeah, she's a rep.
So representatives have how many? They don't serve terms. They just serve. They get voted in and voted out.
4 years. But the thing is, they focus on, you don't necessarily have to partake in an insurrection. All you have to do is aid, abet, or harbor a insurrectionist. So I mean, even with her, tweeting, with her, supporting,
right? She abetted.
Yeah, she abetted.
Aided. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Aided and abetted.
Yeah, but no one. All those people that had something to do with it, especially Trump, all those guys standing up there with him when he was making the speech, getting everybody all riled up, all hustled up or whatever. No one has suffered any kind of sanctions against them. Nothing.
I would
even though they wasn't there, but you still associated with them. I'm like, what happened to guilty? Was that guilty association? Guilty because association?
There you go. I mean, what did you do to stop it? And
inciting the riot. I'm like, you got to go back to Black Panthers. Go back to
besides tweet out that go team go.
Yeah, come on, man. It's a double standard, and that's how our country is laced. And it's kind of funny that a white female is actually benefiting from that double standard, because usually just white men, the upper white man, you don't really see the Hispanics, blacks, even women. You don't see them benefiting from stuff like that, but she is benefiting from it big time. I'm like, how is she getting away? And she's one of the worst ones I've seen.
She amazing.
Things she say, man, I'm saying publicly, not around her friends. She don't drop the N-word around her friends or people she know. I'm like, she's publicly she's worse than the dude that called me black and then said I wasn't an American.
And she was one of the original people on that. Now we can go way back. That trying to promote the theory that Barack was from Nigeria and not born in America.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Oh, she was one of them.
She was one of those too. Yeah. So she's been involved in this. weird shit thinking for a while. If somebody's got an off the wall idea, go and run with it. Type of person.
People are so naive. I guess they need somebody to follow, and who would want to follow her? Mm-hmm. I'm like, she doesn't have anything that's really. She's messy. Who wants to follow? Trump was messy, and that's why he lost. So I'm like, he's always going to be messy. And who wants to follow anybody messy? Usually you want to be around someone that's confident and strong and smart, intelligent, and can foresee things because they wise. These are idiots, right, man. I'm like, all our assholes of the week are just straight up idiots, and they're saying things verbally in front of the country, their states, the nations, the senators, in front of American people. They're saying things that lets you know that they don't give a rat's ass about you.
But you know what, Larry? I mean, if I look back on all our shows, I mean, we keep it real, and we slam both sides.
Yeah, it is what it is.
I mean, if you look from Trump to Biden, both of them, yeah.
I'm waiting for you to put a brother up here that does something stupid like that.
Yeah, we could do a whole hell of a lot better.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, I'm waiting for a brother or a sister.
We could do a whole hell of a lot better. I don't like to lean left and or right because I don't think, either that's not how it works.
No, everybody gets it, and it's just that, and
some of these people.
But it's the same ones, man. It's the same ones. That's why I'm saying we need to break it up. We need to get a brother to go off the. We already got Ted Cruz Hispanic. We got that. We got him. Okay, we got the white people. We got them. They fucking up. Ted Cruz fucking up. We need to just mix it up. We need an Asian, get a black dude, a black woman, somebody that comes in and just shake this shit up. The Chris Rock slap, the Will Smith joint, that ain't enough. That's not political. That's personal. We need. So then people think we being fair because I don't want them down. Larry coming down on the white people too hard. No, I'm just saying they keep doing that shit. Ted Cruz, he keep doing that shit.
And the whole thing I get tired of hearing. I really get, and I heard it when they were talking about, shortly after that when they start talking about the community, and this is, that'll sure shake up the woke community, the woke lefties. And I'm like, why does everything have to go woke lefty because of, a difference of opinion? And number one, woke is a black cultural thing. I mean, out of the Milwaukee shooting.
Yeah.
I mean, how it's gotten its name around and tagged on anybody that has a different opinion than some of these far-right conservatives. If you think differently, now all of a sudden it gets a woke tag to it, and you're a leftist, commie.
Hey, it's crazy, Tim, because this stuff's been going on for the longest. This mudslinging, this negative verbiage directed towards American people, not just black people, white people too, Hispanic people, Asian people. I'm talking about Americans that have helped build this country. That negativity, that language directed towards them is wrong. It's just wrong, period. And it's been going on for the longest, and they still got these idiots on these platforms getting away with it, saying it, and the media loves it. The media loves it. So, and I'm like, come on, man, get these fools off of there.
Well, it's a whole lot more interesting than going out and talking to Farmer Larry about growing popcorn.
Right? Yeah, just.
So what can we stir up? So they'll go there and just swap the hell out of that hornet's nest just to see sometimes.
It's hilarious, and they got the same people. I'm like, what is wrong? It's got to be somebody else out there doing some dumb shit.
There is.
We ain't getting them though. we can't. We be digging. I'll be waiting. I said, let me find. Okay, no, that ain't. Okay, can't use him.
Like I said, right now, yep. My luck when it comes up, if they don't start coming up with some better people, I'm writing in Zelensky.
We keep better,
Vladimir Zelensky.
Yeah, we're going to have to go. Yeah, we got to we'll dig some stuff up.
At least I know he's got some nuts, right?
If Ted Cruz gets on there and says another dang thing, see Greg Abbott, he ain't said nothing. He done laid back. He's okay. Let me chill out.
After he screwed up.
He said, "Let me sit back down."
I mean, man,
I ain't gonna stand up and say nothing else.
That was a big kick in the nuts to the economy when he decided to inspect all the traffic coming. I don't know what he was thinking.
Then he was like, Abbott was like, "Hey man, it's your turn. Ted, go. Say something. Do something that land. It's call a black female a refugee or something. I don't know."
I was just looking at the time real quick, and then we got some time because since you mentioned Abbott, I see where they had one of the border patrol guys got himself shot down there around Del Rio.
Did he? What did he do? You got something on it?
No. That they think they shot him and took his clothes and shit. And they was just talking about now they're harping on Title 14. You got to keep that Title 14, that thing that that come out of the health invoked that to where you can send these people back for COVID reasons. But I mean, and then they're saying it has to expire at some times because it was based upon COVID, and COVID's not a huge issue anymore, so to speak. Mm-hmm. And so, I mean, if you want to revoke, Title 14, or you want to keep it around, and it's a huge issue down in Texas and Arizona naturally. And I mean, they really got and I understand border security. I mean, you just don't want everybody crossing the goddamn border. No. And you don't want that free flow traffic. Yeah, you want to control border, but I mean, stop pointing the goddamn fingers at everybody and get her done. It's the Dems. It's the Republican. No, it ain't. It's all of y'all.
Yeah, it's whoever's there. Who's in charge?
I mean, just get it frickin' done. You guys are in charge. I mean, how hard is that to figure out? That's why you were elected, to put you in charge of getting this shit done, and then all you do is piss and moan about it. And you're not doing anything because nobody wants to give an inch.
Yeah, but no, this is what happens too, though. What I learned about the corporate side, America's a business, Mexico is a business. Even though it's a country or whatever, we're businesses. This is a whole big business.
Indeed, and yes.
Corporate, when you're dealing with corporate...
Wait, with the imaginary money, remember.
The imaginary money, yeah. But when you're dealing with a business, you got your corporate people, the higher ups, and somebody has to make a decision. Somebody has to say no, yes, and no one ever. When I worked at the corporate, my corporate company I work with, no one wanted to make a decision. Everybody's afraid to do this or do that. I'm like, ain't you the big dog? You higher up, but you afraid to make a decision, a corporate decision? It's the same thing with our country. Nobody really wants to make a decision. Nobody wants to say, I don't like her, I don't like him. Let's not do that. Let's do this. Nobody wants to do it because they're afraid of the backlash, whether it's going to be a financial backlash, a political backlash, or just a public backlash. It's like they're afraid, and that's just how it goes.
That's very true. If you think about it a lot, your corporate decisions is going to be made off of your shareholders, right?
Yeah, but you don't want to put it on one individual because they're going to be like, I'm not making a decision.
And so when you talk about politics, now you're going to be making a decision off of your stakeholders. Now, who's got something invested in you and what's at stake for the decisions that you made? So the parameters are still there that you're working, and for the same reason.
Yeah.
Even though the public may want one thing, as a corporate for profit or whatever gain, whatever they're doing it for, they do it. And it could be, shrinkflation or whatever, right? And same thing's going to happen. Shrinkflation. Same thing's going to happen.
You're going to have shrink in inflation.
Same thing's going to happen in politics. I mean, you're going to listen to your stakeholders, the people who are helping you. I mean, look at how much money gets pumped into these political runs. You're getting, millions upon millions of dollars to get into office. And, you think that people are just going to forgive that debt?
Nah, they're afraid, man. They're afraid to make a decision because they want to be in office. They want to be the big dog. They want to be on top. And they know for a fact that they can't fund their own way in there. They have to use the money from the insurance companies, the biggest people that really give them their cash.
Yeah, which is part of the reason that, Trump, let's put Trump in office. He can finance himself. Well, he doesn't finance. He's out there doing all kinds of frickin' fundraisers and everything else. So, no, it's the same damn thing.
I've never heard of any politician financing himself into office. You can't do that. It costs too much money.
And I'm
Even
telling
if you got a lot of money, you still just can't just get into office. You still got to go through some things.
And I mean, you lend me $2 million, $3 million towards my campaign. You think that I'm not going to take your phone calls?
Yeah,
or you're going to come into my office and ask me, what up?
Yeah.
We had an agreement.
Yeah, I'm like, if I give you that much money, everything we have, every kind of meeting, I'll be the only brother at the White. If I done gave you, say I got rich and they had something at the White House, I'll be out there just like this, standing behind. Like, who was that black dude? That's Larry.
I don't know. Oh, Larry.
He invested $10 million to that guy. I'll just be standing there like this. Wait, they're like, get him out. Like, no, I got $10 million on this dude.
I call them stakeholders. Those are the people that are influenced.
That's who gets them in office. They don't want to piss them off.
You heard? Anyhow, man, we are right at the right time. Let's get into full cams. So who's that? That's MTC Queen. Where are you?
There's she Larry. Left? Oh.
She did an empty seat. That's for tomorrow night. I forgot. Wrong show.
Oh, okay. We do my tip. Let's get my tip for
tip of the week.
Let's go to tip for the week. Beginners. Make sure that when you train, be smart, because when you train, you're gonna hurt. No pain, no gain. Okay, don't let the pain deter you from working out again, and be smart about it. Don't train too hard and be so sore that you can't physically or mentally recover. Well, you're gonna physically recover for it. Don't do it that you can't mentally recover from it. And the smartest thing to do too when you're training your beginner, train with a partner. Then you can have some more motivation to help you move forward, especially once you get past that first initial workout and training session. You're gonna be sore. Maybe 2 days later, usually it takes 2 days to kick in. Have someone that with you, help you, motivate you, so that y'all can just move forward together. So make sure that you don't quit because you're sore. Have somebody with you to motivate you. That's my training tip for beginners. You can follow me on Facebook at Estelle Junior Larry. The same thing on Instagram. I'm also got my Instagram, LRE Fitness, and the same thing, Estelle Junior Larry. Check me out. 100G, Estelle Junior Larry, LRE Fitness, Instagram. That's enough, Tim, because I always mess my stuff.
All right,
you messed up on Wednesday, now I messed my stuff up.
Now you messed your shit up. You can follow me, Timmy Giffen, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Simply just go and Google me, and you will find us. Or go to www.thequeensilvershow.com. Catch up with all of it. And in any event, hey, don't forget to look left, look right before you cross the street. And that's why we're telling you what we're telling you, so you know. Anyhow, until next week, you heard. Hey, man, until next week.
They don't know where to find me at. What did he say? What?
What? Well, you have to wordify that thing. That's right. Some people are wondering wordify.
Yeah.
Man, there's cheat notes. Did you see? Google it. You can get the day. You can get the word of the day if you Google it. And then I don't know.
You can't Google my name. It's too many Larry Estelles. You got to find the most handsome one. If you Google me, check out the most handsome one. You see me like this on the.
Well, on that note, until next week, Larry and Hal, holler at you, man. Peace. Yeah.